American Pickers star Frank Fritz's cause of death revealed as pal says he's in a better place. American Pickers star Frank Fritz's cause of death has been revealed. Frank died at the age of 60, 2 years after having a stroke and being hospitalized. His friend and co-star, Mike Wolfe, confirmed Frank's death to their fans on Instagram with a long, heartfelt post and picture of the two. The death certificate showed that his cause of death was late sequela of cerebral infarction, in other words, a stroke. Cerebral vascular disease, a disorder that affects blood flow and blood arteries in the brain, was the cause of the stroke. According to the certificate, obtained by TANS, Frank also had chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, and aortic stenosis, 2 chronic illnesses that affect the body's ability to pump blood from the heart. These conditions contributed to Frank's death. Ahead of his death, Frank was diagnosed with Crohn's disease. TANS reported this may have also played a role in his death. His friend Mike confirmed the death to fans with a long, heartfelt caption. It read, "It's with a broken heart that I share with all of you that Frank passed away last night. I've known Frank for more than half my life, and what you've seen on TV has always been what I have seen. A dreamer who was just as sensitive as he was funny. The same off-camera as he was on, Frank had a way of reaching the hearts of so many by just being himself." He continued, "Who would have ever dreamed we would share the cockpit of a white cargo van in front of millions of people interested in our adventures? Before the show, we would take off together to places we never knew existed with no destination in mind, and just the shared passion to discover something interesting and historic." The two went on countless trips. Mike admitted to being blessed to have been by Frank's side when he took one last journey home. Mike expressed his love for Frank and how Frank is in a better place. The two starred on American Pickers, where they would travel across the country looking for rare artifacts and antiques to buy from the collectors and add to their personal collections or sell. Frank Fritz, beloved star of American Pickers, has always held a special place in the hearts of fans who followed his treasure-hunting journey alongside Mike Wolfe. But the world was rocked by the devastating news of his passing. For years, Frank had been a pillar of the show, with his keen eye for antiques and an uncanny knack for uncovering hidden gems. His departure from the show, which had already left viewers with unanswered questions, was compounded by his death, raising even more queries about his struggles in his final years. Now, after months of speculation, the cause of his death has been revealed, and the world has a clearer understanding of the hardships Frank faced before his untimely passing. A close friend, speaking through tears, opened up about Frank's final days, saying that despite the heartbreak of losing him, they take comfort in knowing that he's in a better place now. A history of health battles. Frank's health issues were no secret to those who followed American Pickers closely. His noticeable absence from the show after 2020 left fans questioning his condition, and it wasn't long before his struggles with health became public. In 2021, news broke that Frank had suffered a debilitating stroke, leaving him with significant challenges in his recovery. Although Mike Wolfe had publicly shared messages of support, fans sensed tension between the former co-stars, which made Frank's exit even more somber. In the months leading up to his passing, it became clear that Frank was fighting an uphill battle. Reports of his declining health due to complications from the stroke surfaced, painting a picture of a man who had been dealing with more than just physical limitations. It wasn't just about rehabilitation and trying to regain his strength. It was the emotional toll that came with feeling isolated and distanced from the life he once knew. Addiction struggles and the price of fame. Behind the scenes, Frank had also been wrestling with another battle, one that, according to close friends, had been brewing for years. His struggles with addiction, which were partly fueled by the pressures of fame and the demands of a grueling television schedule, had escalated. Many of his longtime fans had noticed his physical changes and personality shifts during his last seasons on American Pickers, but few realized just how deep his struggles went. After leaving the show, Frank sought help for his addiction, but the journey was fraught with relapses and setbacks. His friend, who wished to remain anonymous, shared in a recent interview, "Frank tried so hard to overcome his demons, but it's never easy." Fame didn't help. It put a spotlight on his pain, and the pressure to keep up with everything got to him. He felt like he was letting people down, his fans, his family, everyone. The weight of these internal battles took their toll, and despite several attempts to seek treatment, Frank's health only worsened. His friend added, it wasn't just the physical pain. It was the emotional toll that really hit him hard. Frank was a private guy in many ways, and carrying all that weight around took everything out of him. A peaceful passing. In the days leading up to his death, Frank's condition had deteriorated significantly. After his stroke, his ability to move and communicate had been limited, and while there were moments of hope, the setbacks had been constant. According to those closest to him, Frank's body had begun to fail him, and there was a sense that he knew his time was nearing an end. The official cause of death, revealed by the family, was complications from the stroke he had suffered, compounded by years of battling addiction. His friend, speaking about Frank's final days, said, "It was peaceful in a way. We had prepared ourselves, and Frank had too. He knew that his body was giving up, but there was a calmness about him. I think he had made peace with everything." While his passing has left a deep hole in the hearts of fans and loved ones, there is some comfort in knowing that Frank is now at peace. He's in a better place, his friend shared, fighting back tears. For so long, Frank was fighting to get better, fighting to stay strong for everyone who loved him, and fighting his own demons. But now he doesn't have to fight anymore. A legacy remembered. Though Frank Fritz is gone, his legacy on American Pickers and the impact he had on the world of antique collecting will live on. From the very beginning of the show, Frank's dynamic with Mike Wolfe and their shared passion for uncovering America's hidden treasures resonated with viewers around the world. His easygoing nature, combined with a sharp sense of humor, made him a fan favorite. Fans of the show remember Frank's enthusiasm for each find, whether it was a rusty old motorcycle or a forgotten sign from a bygone era. His ability to see value in objects that others would overlook was part of what made American Pickers such a hit. He had a knack for understanding the history behind the items they picked, turning what might seem like junk into priceless artifacts of Americana. Tributes have poured in from fans and friends alike, all remembering Frank for the joy he brought into their homes through the show. Fellow American Pickers star Mike Wolfe, despite their rumored falling out, posted a heartfelt message following the news of Frank's death, calling him a brother and a part of the fabric that made American Pickers what it is. Finding peace in Frank's passing. As the world mourns the loss of Frank Fritz, there's a bittersweet sense of closure in knowing that he's finally at peace. The battles he fought, both public and private, have come to an end. Though his absence on American Pickers had left a void in the show, his legacy as a brilliant picker and a man who lived his life with passion and curiosity will never fade. His friend's final words about Frank resonate with fans and loved ones alike. He's in a better place now. We miss him terribly, but we also know that he's finally free from the struggles that weighed him down for so long. Frank brought so much joy into the world, and that's what we'll always remember.